Hey, welcome into another episode of the Benchwarmers. I'm Alex, and you're...
Taylor Gibson.
Who is this? We had to go to the bullpen. We got the righty in. Daniel's still on vacation. Please come back. No, I'm kidding. Taylor, man, how's it feeling to be here on the Benchwarmers?
Man, I am so excited. It's like we're going a little bit further down on the bench. I said, Coach, put me in, and, well, we're here. So.
Well, you know, Jeff and Sydney weren't available, so this is the best we got.
It's okay. I have a mean fastball. So
That's what I've heard. I've heard you got a lot of athletic talents, maybe some track in there.
Yes, a little track history. Went D1 in track.
Okay.
Ran a really fast mile and a really fast 800.
Right.
That's how I made my living back in the day.
Yeah, no excuses on a Friday night for us.
No,
I know
never.
you can get up and down that
Carb
field.
loading every Friday.
You gotta love it. Well, obviously the biggest story in sports is the LSUS pilots.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what we've seen. We're recording this on a Monday. Airs Wednesday. We had the celebration. We were both there to see that. And I mean, to see the entire city, it feels like, getting behind this team. I mean, I know you're from here. I'm from here. For me, I've never, ever seen anything like this. And I've lived a little longer than you have.
Yeah.
But, like, for you, what did you make of all this?
So it's honestly, especially being in sports and seeing it, right, and being a fan of it, understanding that being 59-0 and the pressure that comes with that, but also following that up with winning a national championship. Like, there is no greater feeling in sports than what those guys have right there. They will be remembered not only in like Shreveport history, but in baseball history. They might get a movie. It's like, in all seriousness, they may get a movie one day. And that is such a surreal thing. And I'm not only happy for them, but it's such a good thing for our city, because all of those people that came out to show their support are obviously so happy. And it's such a positive thing that has come in, just beyond sports, right? It's such a cool thing to look at and celebrate, really.
Yeah, I mean, 59-0 in any sport's cool, right? But in baseball, it seems dang near impossible.
Yeah.
You consider all the variables that go into a baseball game. I mean, the wind, anything like that could change the outcome of a game. And, man, I mean, you look at that championship game, and they're down 4-0 in the second inning, and we're all kind of looking at each other in the newsroom like, what do we do here? We had a whole plan here. Don't mess it up. And, I mean, I would have had to work on Saturday, so I was heavily invested in that game. I was like, please win this game. And they had back-to-back homers to start the sixth, and, I mean, it was over. And you knew when you get in that ninth inning, we were doing the live stream, right? And there was a little delay from what we were seeing versus to what was happening on the field. And Isaac Rohde comes out on the mound, the NIA pitcher of the year, to close out that ninth inning. And it was so funny, as on the stream, I'm like, okay, Isaac Rohde stepping out here, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's probably going to make quick work. And then all of a sudden, Sydney's texting me, it's over, we got to go. And I'm like, oh, I guess it's already over. He did it. So 3 quick outs. And, I mean, you talk to the guys, you know, interviewing them all throughout this experience, you would never know. Like, it seems like any other LSUS team in the terms of the coverage, how open they were. They let Sydney travel with them the entire way to Idaho. And it was just really stellar from the top down, whether it be their play on the field, you know, how they treated us off of it, how they approached their fans, and how they approached the whole thing in general. I mean, they're going to the freaking White House, man. Like, that is so freaking cool.
Yeah, and that's like, awesome.
There's going to be a jersey or a shirt that says Shreveport, right, and the steps of the White House. I'm almost getting chills sitting here talking about it. And I don't know about you, but when I was at the celebration today, and first time I kind of just looked over and saw everybody, it was immediate chills.
Yeah.
Because look, dude, this is Shreveport.
Yeah.
All right, we hear it all the time. Shreveport doesn't support anything, or it's not a sports city, and it is. But unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, Shreveport likes winners.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you lose a few games and this, that, and man, no one's going out. You know, I got a million things to watch on Netflix. I'm not going to go watch a team lose. But when you have a team that's 59-0 and they do not lose, that is a must-see TV or must-see action on the field. And, look, I think next year, season opener, Pilot Field's going to be nuts.
I was just about to say that. Thinking about everybody that is obviously the fair weather, it's beautiful outside when you're winning games, right? Next season, if they're as good and they bring back this team, obviously I know seniors are going to go on and everything. They bring back a good core group. It's going to get real rowdy out there for the Pilots, and in a great way. The city loves getting behind good things. I mean, we see it with the Mudbugs. We see it with all the different sports teams in here. When you're doing good, they show up. Obviously, they show up when you're not doing well too. But obviously, it's It's so much better when you can be happy on that drive home. You know what I mean?
Right. And you did not leave an LSUS game disappointed at all this year.
Not this year. Yeah.
They made quick work out of most teams. That championship game was, like we said, a little intense. And I didn't bring the duck up here, but in the stream, the rally duck, and it was real. I mean, I'm sitting in the edit bay with Savannah watching the game, and as soon as the Pirates got to bat, I'm just quacking, quack, 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 please. And then this stuff kept happening. So we go out to the stream, and Savannah's like, no, the duck has to come out here. And the duck was a fan favorite.
It was a hit.
Sure.
Yeah,
we loved it. That was awesome. I'm trying to, there's so much to say, and I don't want to spend the entire episode talking about them. But I mean, the fact that they're going to the White House, seeing all of Sydney's stuff on World News Tonight, Good Morning America, Sports Center, all that stuff. It was just, I mean, I've been doing this for dang near 15 years, bro. I've never had an experience like this. We cover LSU.
Yeah.
Duh. It's awesome. It's great. I was on the field of the Superdome when they won the national championship in 2019. And still, I'll tell you, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in person, right? But this is right there.
Yeah.
And this is Shreveport-based. I don't know, man. I'm just fired up.
And so it was so cool seeing Sydney out there. I mean, being away for basically that whole entire week, following the team, almost 2 weeks, following the team and the coverage that she got. I think, she deserved every national news outlet that covered that, and she did a phenomenal job with that. It was amazing.
You're doing good when the fans are asking for your autograph.
Literally.
As well. And they weren't asking for ours. They wanted Sydney Lane because she was the one there, and she deserves it. I mean, look, I'll hit the mic. Houghton grad. Go Bucks.
Yep.
It's, I love nothing more than to see our Houghton people succeed. And Sydney's been spectacular. I mean, she's emailing me since she was in high school. How do I get into this field? And I want to do this. And she's doing it, man. We love her to death. And she filled in last week kind of live from Idaho. So that was a fun time. Okay, so look, LSUS, unbelievable. We have all the coverage you could ever need on the website if you want to see more of that. We could talk hours about how great that's been, and we are going to have Coach Neff on next week. We already talked to him about that. But we can talk about some other sports. This is a busy time in the sports world, and you are heavily invested in the NBA Finals.
Yes, so my favorite basketball team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I got to tell you a little story. So my very first sports team I ever chose to like was the Oklahoma City Thunder. I have a lot of family in OKC, and that was the prime time when James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, the big three was there.
And how old were you then?
I was 12.
Yikes.
Yes, I was 12 years old, and I made my entire personality everything Kevin Durant. I had his shoes, his shirts, his jersey. On July 4th of 2016, he broke my heart.
Yeah.
And he, obviously, everybody knows the story, Golden State, and we actually haven't been to a finals since 2012. The city of Oklahoma has never won a finals in general. It will be the first for the franchise if they get it done this year. We have an MVP. We have a super solid team. The defense is, maybe the best defense I've ever seen in my life. And that's it's really saying something. I think the team has a really, really, really good chance to do it against, I hate to say, Indiana is not they made it there, but I'm pretty confident in the Thunder can get it done.
I think most people pick the Thunder.
Yeah.
And the Pacers, no discredit to
Absolutely
Tyrese
not.
Halliburton and
Absolutely
everything
not.
that he's done. It's been a great run for them. But it does have that. And I think with Oklahoma City, a lot of the talk was they need to grow up, right?
Yes.
Last year it was okay, great regular season, maybe they're not ready yet.
Yeah.
I feel like you almost watched them grow in these playoffs, right?
Oh, yeah.
To take down Jokic the way they did. They made quick work in Minnesota. That wasn't even really a series in Minnesota. They took down the Lakers. They weren't a bad team by any means. But then, from a fan point of view, and I'll give you some words of caution, okay? Enjoy this. And if they win it, celebrate like it is the only dang championship you may ever see, because it might be.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, when I watch Drew Brees with his kid and he's hoisting that Lombardi and his kid's got the earphones on and I'm sitting there watching it, and the main thought in my head was, I can't wait for the next one.
Oh, man.
Because at the time, right, it seems like, oh my gosh, we got the best quarterback in the world. We got Reggie Bush. We got all this stuff, and this is going to happen at least one more time.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
It's tough. The getting to the pinnacle is not easy. I don't want to scare you right now, but my point is, enjoy the moment that's in front of you.
You're right.
Because I look back at 2009 for me, and I enjoyed it. I got a tattoo and shaved my head, and it was a crazy time. But I just kept thinking to myself the entire time, I can't wait for this again. This is going to be so fun. Here we go again. and it, pass interference call. And
I really thought I'm still balancing on if I really want to go this year because, like I said, I've been following them. And game one, I've looked at the ticket prices, and I work a big boy job now, and they're affordable. They're a lot, but they're affordable. And I really think that just seeing, I think the inner kid in me, even if they lost game one but ended up winning the finals, or just being there to see my team finally be there, I think it would, I mean, that's every kid's dream, right? And I think that that's something that if I didn't do, I would look back and be like, man, I really wish I would have went to see my favorite team.
100%. I mean, look, you only live once, right?
Yeah.
Enjoy it, man. And again, it just could, you don't know. You know what I mean? Injuries are crazy. Trades, the NBA's wild. You never know what happens. So go enjoy it. And just take it in, man. And hopefully they do it for you. Yeah. And I know it is. There's nothing like it. I know it sounds so stupid, like, oh, you're fans, or whatever, man. We're like in there. You know what I mean? Like we're living and dying.
I cried. I cried when things happened to this team. There was a buzzer beater. Damian Lillard hit over Paul George at the half court line, and I was grounded. But I was listening to it on my Google Mini on the radio at home. It was 11:30 at night in Washington D.C., and I turned my Google Mini off and cried myself to sleep that night because I knew it was over. But now I'm so happy watching every game.
Yep,
so
that's it, man. And it really is something to see what they've done. And you think, like, take everything I just said out the window and you look at it and it's like, they're young, and they're good. And
they're the worst they're ever going to be right now.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what people say. And I thought the same thing about the Saints.
Yeah, I know.
And then segueing to hockey, my hockey team, I can't tell you I've ever thought about that with the Sabres. But we do have another Oilers-Panthers matchup in the Stanley Cup Finals. And sorry for the people of Dallas. I know we probably have some Stars fans out there. That was a tough one. You just really, for me, I don't know how much you pay attention to this, but Jake Ottinger, the goalie for the Stars, did not have a great series.
No.
Who can have a great series against Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. But to see the Stars coach kind of trash him there at the end of the game,
you don't love to see that.
Yikes. Yeah. That's tough. Now, you would think the franchise would side with the franchise goalie over the coach, and we'll probably see that as the months unfold. But that's a tough look. And he did the same thing in Vegas with Marc-Andre Fleury. He did the same thing when they lost. He put it on the goalie, and it's an easy thing to do, right? He's the last line of defense. Of course, it's obvious when the goalie gives one up. But I know the goalie in me was furious watching that.
Oh, man.
And this is a USA's goalie.
Yeah.
Like, or number 2, but he could easily be number 1. That was tough. But look, I picked the Oilers outside of the year. I'm sticking with them. I know Florida seems impossible to beat at times, but no one is as good at hockey than Connor McDavid.
I was just about to say that. There were certain clips that were circulating online of Connor McDavid's leadership in the locker room, and
after the loss,
and being, especially in sports, as we both were, having someone like that in the locker room, and you can go to him as being your star player, and he's acting like that. That's not a bad problem to have, and I really think that, I know last year they did not, the Oilers, mistake me if I'm wrong, did not get it done in the finals.
No.
This year, I really think that they will get it done.
Well, greatness demands greatness, right?
Absolutely.
You see it all the time, and you see the clips of the Last Dance with Jordan, and not necessarily the nicest guy to his teammates sometimes, but it's because he was trying to get that extra bit out of them.
You need that.
Yeah. And especially in a sport like hockey. You know, basketball is a little different because, you know, LeBron or Jordan, they can play 30, 40 minutes a night. Hockey, it's impossible, right?
Oh, yeah.
So McDavid's not out there the entire game. He's out there a lot, but you got to have everyone step up, and you feel like, you know, he was getting the sense maybe that was the issue last year, and it kind of was.
Yeah,
but,
it was.
You know, I think he maybe had some injuries last year going into it. I know when I went to one of their games in Dallas, and you could tell he had something maybe with his wrist bothering him. He didn't have the same oomph on that shot that we normally saw, but yeah, I think it's Oilers all the way, and Canada finally getting their Stanley Cup.
They do it.
Which is crazy. The discourse behind that is so dumb.
Yeah.
It's not like it's only Canadian player. The best player for the Toronto Maple Leafs is American.
Yeah.
Like it's not. That narrative is so dumb. It's not like it's a team. There's only one Canada trophy that I care about them not getting.
Yeah.
And that's the gold medal in the Olympics. We don't care about this Four Nations crap. Right?
Absolutely.
As an exhibition.
Yeah.
Whatever. They can have it. Congrats. We get Tage Thompson on the Team USA roster, Buffalo Sabre, and we go win that dang gold medal.
Amen.
And that is what we care most about in this country.
Absolutely.
Well, maybe not. Maybe some other things like football. But I don't know. I'm going all over the place here. How do we feel about the flag football thing?
Oh, man.
in the Olympics?
I don't know if that quarterback should get his shot.
No.
The one that called out Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And it's sad because even us sitting here, I'm a big sports guy myself. Like I knew that guy's name for maybe 2 weeks, and it's great. And what they do for the sport of football is amazing. Obviously, they are pro athletes. And I'm not saying maybe every player that plays in the professional flag football should be left out of consideration, but there definitely should at least be some sort of tryout.
Do it. Let's do a tryout.
Let's do a tryout.
Let's see how it goes.
Exactly.
I can pretty much tell you how it's going to go. Do you want this guy or do you want Tyreek Hill?
Or Justin Jefferson.
Or Justin Jefferson.
Or Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I mean, what other
or
dude?
Bijan Robinson.
What other dude in the world is outrunning Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, or Lamar Jackson as your quarterback.
Like people talk about like the little like weird moves they do to like, dude, Saquon Barkley like backwards hurdled like 3 people. Like we're good.
Yeah,
we're good. Like I think that Patrick Mahomes could probably figure out how to avoid getting his flag taken off of his hip.
I've seen him dive while being tackled and throw the most beautiful pass I've ever seen in my mouth wide, like unbelievable pass. I think Patrick could probably get it done.
Yeah. And they asked Matthew Stafford about it.
Yeah.
And his answer was like, well, if they want me to coach, maybe. I don't think I could keep up with those guys. But, like, do we not want Lamar Jackson?
Come on.
Running with the football in the Olympics?
In the Olympics?
I mean, I just want to spank everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I want it to be like...
I don't think it would even... It might be worse in the basketball whenever we win gold. I don't think...
I mean, we're talking... Summer Olympics is like 3 years away, but...
Yes.
I don't know, man.
There
hasn't been an American MVP in the NBA in a long time.
You're right about that.
But the problem is we're so loaded.
Yes.
Whereas there's great players on other countries.
Yeah.
We top to bottom.
I think it was it was either Steph Curry that was the last one or Kawhi Leonard. It was one of the two.
Right.
Yeah, it was one of the two. I'm pretty sure it was Steph Curry's year. And then it obviously went to Embiid. And then it went to, obviously, Shea got it this year. Jokic has gotten it a couple of times. Giannis has gotten it. But the thing with that is all those players, unfortunately, do not play on the same team.
Yep.
And so even Jokic, I think Serbia made it pretty far this year. But obviously, Jokic is getting older. You think about all the star players that the USA is going to lose, that this was their last year, the Currys, the LeBrons, the Durants.
Like LeBron's not playing in the Olympics again?
Yeah. I don't think so. I think he's done. I think LeBron is done after next year. I think this next year will be his retirement year.
Yeah, and the Lakers will win the title.
They have to go through my Thunder. They got to go through the Thunder.
Brother, all right. I don't want to get too conspiracy theory out here, but we haven't had a conversation on this show about the NBA draft lottery.
Ooh, yeah, that's intense. After... it gets really deep too if you really want, and it has some connections to Shreveport if you really think about it.
Okay, I'll hear you out.
And here's what it is. I heard through the web that the reason Luka Doncic was traded, one was for cap space. He was coming up on a new deal, and that man is going to get paid a lot of money. But Dallas also, I heard somewhere in there, they want to start opening up casinos.
Oh, and they want to move to Vegas.
And they want to move to Vegas. And what does that do for everybody in Texas comes to Shreveport for the casinos. Yeah. And so how would that affect the economy? If it was real, you never know.
I think you're stretching a little bit. I think it's as simple as how in the world, we should not get too far on this, but how in the world is one of the best top 5 players in the world up for grabs and no one but LeBron's Lakers knows?
Yeah.
And then they turn around and give them the lottery pick
number one
to get
pick.
Cooper Flagg, who is regarded as one of the best prospects in how many years to come out?
Yeah.
It's just...
Since Zion.
That worked out.
Yeah.
It stinks to me.
Yeah.
It stinks.
It does. And speaking from a more realistic, if we're still in the conspiracy, yes, I think that they see LeBron maybe going out. If this conspiracy theory is real, they see LeBron going out. They know the Lakers need somebody to keep him. The NBA needs a star in Los Angeles. And they said they already knew Luka with his, I'm pretty sure his weight situation was a little bit of a concern over the offseason.
Who cares?
They did not like it for some reason. And
I guess they didn't like going to the finals.
I guess so.
Yeah,
and
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and then the Lakers will sign Giannis and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I really hope not. I think that if Giannis goes anywhere, my prediction is hopefully he goes to the Spurs.
I was about if you say OKC, I'm kicking you off the show.
I think if he went to the Spurs, that would be so good. Wembanyama and Giannis on the same team would be with Chris Paul. It'd be Chris Paul. He played on my Thunder, so I have to give him his props.
Since we're talking NBA, before we get to our interview, I did want to say we did see the end of an iconic sports media show with Inside the NBA. Now they're going to move to ESPN, and absolutely loved Shaq's comment.
Yes, me too.
Yeah, we can't repeat that here, but hopefully, fingers crossed, it stays the same, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, ESPN just lets them do exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, that's got to be the smartest thing.
But either way, it is the end of an era, and as someone I know you probably watch more than I do, hats off to those guys. I mean,
my goodness,
they live the dream, right?
Yeah,
they get to just be themselves on television, and people love it.
And I growing up with them. And now watching and appreciating it as I've been older is when I was younger, obviously that's just Shaq and Kenny, Ernie and Chuck, and I didn't really, obviously it was fun watching them, and I've actually saw a lot of their best moments live on TV. I've been watching, and now seeing that, I got emotional too on that last game in Indiana when Ernie Johnson was holding back those tears a little bit, saying goodbye. It is a little bit of an end of an era, but knowing that I know Shaquille O'Neal would not have it any other way, and he would not come back if he could not be himself.
Right.
And so I think that it's amazing that they're coming back on ESPN, and hopefully some more memories to come.
And hopefully they don't say, okay, here you go, guys, here's Stephen A. Smith, enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they're like boxing, he's boxing Barkley, then maybe we could watch that. So our interview this week, a guy that you probably haven't got to know too well, but you will the longer you stay here, is our Bossier offensive coordinator, Jeff Harper. He's also a main contributor with Southern Classic Chicken Friday Football Fever. I mentioned it in the interview, but with Daniel out, I'm like, I gotta get a for sure interview here, and of course Coach Harper is always there. So we'll have a few more thoughts to wrap it up when we come back, but let's go now to Coach Harper.
Flying solo this week with Daniel on vacation, but I had to break glass in case of emergency, hit the Jeff Harper button. Coach with us here, a normal contributor for Southern Classic Chicken Friday Football Fever, Coach Jeff Harper with Bossier, the offensive coordinator there. Coach, man, it's been a while since our viewers heard from you. I think it's been since football season ended months ago. How you doing, man?
Oh, doing good, man. Just staying busy here at the office, and we just started summer workouts this week, and so trying to get these guys coached up, ready to go for the grind of the summer months. Good thing is we get to play a little 7-on-7 next week, so it makes the time a little easier on our guys.
Yeah, I know as an offensive guy, you probably do love some 7-on-7, but I think I maybe messed up the intro a little bit. Should I have introduced you as Dr. Jeff Harper?
Well, I don't have a doctorate degree in coaching, so no, you handled that right. But yes, I just finished my doctorate in ministry, and so that was quite the process. Lots of writing. Just glad to have all that behind me and done and finished.
Yeah, and that's a world I don't know much about in terms of what it would take to get that doctorate. How many years were you working on it, and what briefly did it entail?
Well, a DMin, usually takes up to 3 years. You have 3 years to finish one. I didn't have to write a thesis. I wrote a thesis for one of my master's degrees, earlier. And so I had to do a summation project where I had to pretty much break down someone's written work and provide feedback and, critical points of refutation, whatever it may be. That turned out to be about 370 pages. And,
wow.
The good thing was the reason why I finished early is I didn't have a lot of distractions, so I could get the work done and approved. And so, we weren't really thinking we would finish in May, but, we got lucky. So it was just a little over a year, and I'd already had a couple of doctoral classes before. I just didn't do much with it. So when my dad brought me back, he asked me, to get it done. And I was like, man, I don't want to get another degree. Please don't make me do that. And he's like, look, you need to get it done. So I'm just glad to be finished with it.
Well, congratulations, of course. And you said you didn't have any distractions, but I know you're busy. You're always busy, whether it's working out with quarterbacks, you're finished spring ball with Bossier. How do you find time to do all this, man?
Well, the quarterback training is the easy part, because I only take 20 kids every off season, and it fills up really fast. And so we do 2 days a week, usually 8 sessions a month, and I start those in the evenings. So it's not that much of a scheduling issue. Here at the office, when it comes to spring ball and then football in the fall, not being a full-time educator anymore, I have to get to the office early, so 5 a.m, to be able to get to practice, because we practice first block. And so it's just making time for the things that you want to do. And I have early mornings with Bossier, and I have late nights with Gunslinger, and I have my regular job in the middle. And so having 2 kids that aren't at home anymore makes it a little easier.
Yeah, true that, man. And with Gunslinger, this is kind of your time of year, right? Summer's coming around. Guys are looking for work. Who you working with this year, and maybe what are some quarterbacks that some that we know about, or some that we should have on our radar as we get ready for the fall?
Well, of course, Abram Wardell's still training, getting ready for college ball. And Mason Welch, when he comes in, still trains. Trey Smith, starting quarterback at Centenary, is here. And he helps me coach. And then your local guys like Owen Smith, who used to be at Calvary, has been starting quarterback at Natchitoches Central, drives up. I've got Peyton Boone, one of the quarterbacks from Northwood, CT Woodard, one of the quarterbacks from Halton. I have Bryce Restovich, quarterback from Loyola, big time talent. Hudson Price, who will be the new quarterback at Calvary, up and coming, just unbelievable talent. Yeah, you're going to hear a lot about him this year. That's just a few of the guys that are here each and every week. Madden Raymond's a lefty from Benton that plays multiple positions, that trains. Baker Bernard's the backup at Loyola. We have a diverse group of guys, and I've got them that travel from Pine Tree High School there in Texas, and Longview. Still have kids that drive in from Monroe. Got kids that drive in from Natchitoches and Alexandria. And so, those are your usual suspects, just local high school guys. And of course, plenty of middle school talent that are here every week, and some youth guys too. So, we're opening up Gunslinger this next month, June and July, to add another 10 spots, because I've got Coach Woodty, former Parkway quarterback, former Oklahoma State Cowboy, now offensive coordinator at Centenary, that's going to come and help some of the younger guys out, and have Reynolds Moore, that's already on staff, that's here training. So we're going to open up some more spots. And then, of course, we have receiver training with Tay Mike Lynn, who used to play at Parkway, TCU, and then with the Dallas Cowboys.
Man, that's awesome. Good to see it growing, constantly evolving. What is it? I know we've done this story before, but it's been a couple of years, and if we do have some new listeners or whatever, what does a normal training session at Gunslinger look like?
So it's broke down into phases. So phase 1 is more posture and sequence, and we work that early in the off season. So that's your December, coming and getting your video. We're video and mechanics, and have software that breaks it down to every bone, how it's moving, vectors, angles, degrees, all that kind of stuff. And then we build off of that. So we get into the throwing mechanics first, and then we'll add movement to it. So we don't want to move them, with footwork and drops and off-platform throws until they've really gotten the sequence down. That's what we spend the first 2 months working on. January, February, we add the movement element to it in March, and most of that stuff is done indoors. Then we go outside when the weather permits, late March, and all of April, May, June, and July, and that's when we start throwing concepts, start working pocket movement. We spend a lot of time on rhythm throws, just making sure guys can work their footwork, and then where the ball's got to be, what type of ball we're throwing in different areas, how to ID certain coverages, what type of throws we're trying to make in areas of field zone. So if we're down in the low red zone and we're throwing fades, we don't want to throw fades to the back of the end zone. We want to try to work on, balls that our guys can high point, at the same time back shoulder fades, rollout throws, throwing off a reset, creating more space in the pocket when you're losing space. And then I'm one of those weird guys that makes them throw their screens, all the different screens, tunnel screens, double screens, swing screen, all of that. So they're working on, and they bring their footwork, whatever they're coached to do at their school, they come and perfect it here. So, we have some universal rules that I think apply to the position, and that's more mechanically. And then the process, the working out, the processing, how you build a process every single day, from your stretch routine to your warm up to your workout scenario to your cool down. Like that's the process part. But the majority of the things that they're working on at this point right now is narrowing the focus to the things that are going to separate them in a quarterback battle. So the things that coaches evaluate, that's what we're spending a lot of time on, and making sure that if they have a struggle in practice, that we come and we address it here at the workout. So, I had one kid that played the spring game in their red and white game, and he was struggling on some throws, and that's all he worked on that night. Just different scenarios, making sure that he felt good about that type of throw. So, this time of year, it's very phase oriented, process oriented from first 3 months of the year to now right here in the summer portion, to where we're cutting back on all of the mechanic stuff and really focusing on how to prepare their body and their mind and their footwork and their eyes, tying those things together to be able to excel in the season, not have some of the struggles they may have struggled with in the spring or even last season.
How unique of a resource is this for guys? I mean, I know you have guys traveling from just about anywhere. To be able to have something like this right here in Shreveport-Bossier, how unique is it?
Well, I don't know if it's unique anymore, just because there's other guys trying to get into the training space.
Right.
You've got other quarterback coaches in town, and so everybody does it different. I'm not one for marketing, video, and hype and all that, because this isn't my full-time career.
Right.
So, I would say the unique part is probably some of the things they learn with us that we teach, at these Elite 11 academies when it comes to, types of footwork, specific things that the Elite 11 process wants, quarterbacks to know, wants to see quarterbacks execute at a high level. And at the same time, the mechanic piece, learning the mechanics and the sequence. There's a lot of guys that are teaching mechanics that, may not have all the dots connected when it comes to why you do certain things, how to correct certain things. And so, I wouldn't say what we're doing is unique at all, as much as it is the way that we're doing it. We've been doing it the same way for 15 years, and it's proven to work. It's proven to help guys be able to play the position and win the starting job and have a good high school career. And so, at the end of the day, we're not trying to make a name for Gunslinger as much as we are provide a resource for the kids to have a safe place to where, hey, I can be encouraged here. I'm getting better here. They're coming in and, they're coming in with a mindset that, hey, I need to get better at the position. And when they start the season, they feel good about the work they've done, and they have a resource that they can contact at any time to help them out, through the process during the season.
Well, I know you don't do the marketing stuff, but I'll do a little bit for you. I'm very biased, but I've been to a couple of Gunslinger events, helped you out with some media training before, and it was awesome, man. I just know from my perspective as a goaltender, something that no one had around here, something like this would have been so important to me. So I love it, man. Anytime you want me to come out and help out, I'm down to do that. Nothing better than Gunslinger Academy here in Shreveport, man. We really love it. For you though, we do talk. Obviously, you're going to be on. And I haven't talked to you about this off air yet, but we're still going to do the Point After podcast if you're down with that. So I'll have two podcasts rocking in the fall. That'll be a good time. But let's talk about you a little more. Let's go through your playing days, man. I don't think we've ever talked about that on our air.
Well, there's nothing to talk about. I mean, I was a starting quarterback at Parkway in the late 90s. We were known more for baseball than football. We were not good in football. We tried hard and we scored points. We didn't win ball games. And so, if you played football at Parkway High School in the late 90s with our group, you loved football. It wasn't like you were going to go out there and win a lot of football games. And so, there was that element of playing for the love of the game. But I was an option quarterback in the old I wing offense, and so running a lot of read plays off the edge, running some veer, and some counter trap and stuff like that. Got to spread it out in our 2-minute offense. Back in the late '90s and '97, it was my senior year. We put in some spread stuff, and we had a 2-minute offense or tempo offense there at the end of ball games to move the ball down the field quickly and score points. And we had some weapons. Sean Watson, who used to be the OC at Northwood, now he's the head coach at Elm Grove Middle School. He was one of my receivers. Lonnie Calais, he's now a pastor in I think he's in North Carolina now. He was my outside wide receiver, and he was unbelievable. So we had talent all over the field. We just didn't really stop anybody from scoring points. And so, plus at that time, baseball was the king at Parkway, and I was, on the baseball team with Ronnie Coker. We won state my senior year.
Yeah, I love it.
Lost it my junior year. And so, if you were at Parkway High School in the '90s, baseball was king. Football really only had 2 good years, and those, that period of time that I was in high school and even middle school, there was really only a couple of good years there. But once they got Jim Gatlin in there, he flipped that thing on its head and changed the helmet color and went from white helmets to black helmets, and it just got the football program rolling. And after that, it was just had a lot of momentum. And so still love watching Parkway football, but I think I enjoy coaching way better than playing.
Yeah, fair enough. And when you think about your journey into coaching, who was the guy or guys that were really a big influence on you to get into this field?
I would say the biggest influence for my coaching career is Stephen Jeter. He was head coach at Loyola, and they were members of our church for a long time. He used to live here in South Bossier, and we went to college together. When I came back from Southern Arkansas, he had been playing college baseball, and he came back, and we were both at LSUS and started playing in the intramural leagues, and just became buddies. And one Sunday, he's like, "Man, I need to find some extra help with our football camp." And I was like, "Football camp?" Like, "Yeah, come. Why don't you come help?" So I went out and helped his quarterbacks, and I wasn't really coaching at that time. But I was coaching quarterbacks on the side, and it just took off from there. So he sweet talked my wife into letting me coach while I was still, full time in ministry, and said, I'll pay him, and you just got to let me have him on Friday nights and every afternoon for practice. And so I coached with him in 2011 and 2012, and got to coach Matt Norton, one of the best to ever play at Loyola. And then after that, I got the opportunity to work with Neil May at Parkway, and then Reynolds at Benton, and Coach Bachman at Red River, and Jess at Natchitoches Central, and now working with Gary at Bossier. So, I would say probably the biggest influence in coaching for me, just giving me the opportunity, was Stephen Jeter. I mean, I wouldn't be coaching high school ball today if he wouldn't have hired me at Loyola.
And that's quite the lineup of coaches that you coached with as well. I mean, talk about a list of legends here in our area. It's really impressive. So for TV, who was your biggest influence to become an analyst?
Oh, it's definitely Alex Anderson, that guy over at KTBS. Here's the deal. It's like it wasn't that it was just the unbelievable opportunity. Yes, that's the case, but it's almost like he couldn't find anybody else, and I was the only clown that would do it. So I guess that's the way I look at it.
You kind of segued into where I was going to go next, man. Like, you remember, we didn't know each other at all, and I don't think anyone probably knows the story of how this all came to be. Your version of the story is not exactly untrue. We had a plan, and we were doing the film session, and we were working with somebody else, and that maybe wasn't happening. And I'd actually seen a story on you on one of our competitors, and I was like, okay, that's interesting, and I need to talk to him about what about Gunslinger and everything else, just separate of what we ended up doing. And then I met you at Parkway, and it just hit me. I'm like, well, seems like a nice enough guy. I'll see if he's down. And the part I really wanted to bring up was we agreed to do it. We had the graphics and everything all made, and then you gave me a panic, man. When you texted me that first day, I don't think I can do this. What was going through your head? What happened there?
I just felt like, I'm not the TV type. Right. I don't even shoot promo videos here at our church. Like we have a media team that does it. And I'm not the one that wants to get in front of the camera. I don't do a lot of self-promotion, self-marketing. So anything that was marketing Gunslinger or anything that was marketing, me being on there with you, I was uncomfortable with it. Right. But you sweet talked me into it and said, hey, it's not going to be that big a deal. I'll do all the talking. You just provide some insight. Yeah. So you gave me the opportunity to kind of grow into it. And so now it's something that I look forward to and enjoy doing.
Well, look, man, we've come a long way from meeting up at the church every Wednesday and shooting our deal in front of the screen there. I still loved it, but I think we found a better niche. We're rolling right now, man. And for me, personally, it's been a blessing to have met you and become friends with you, man. I'm just very thankful that we've crossed paths, and I know a lot of our viewers are as well. The stuff that you can provide is important, and you can come at things with a different point of view that Daniel and I don't have. Right? We cover these teams from a different perspective than you see them. And with that in mind, I know we're going to have a similar conversation here in a couple months. But who are the teams that we're looking at right now that you think, hey, we got a chance here of making a run?
Well, I think if you're just talking a state title contender, you have to start with North Dakota. They're poised to make another deep run again this year, and I know the spring game; those don't matter. No. I mean, let's be honest. They just finished a state championship in baseball, and I think Delafield had a 15-minute walkthrough before playing in that game, and so I think they're going to be really good. Of course, Northwood's going to be good. They always are, and those are two teams that in 4A are going to give. Well, of course, Northwood's got to play D1, but right. that 4A Division II bracket, they're going to be pretty good. The team to watch out for in that district this year, though, is Loyola. Okay. Watch out for them. They've got a lot of weapons back on offense. Restovich has worked his tail off this offseason. When I tell you, like, he is so, process oriented. He wants to get every little thing right. And, he holds on to the things his coaches want him to work on, and then he comes and works on them with us. And so when I tell you, man, he's got, one of the strongest arms that I've seen out here. He throws on the run and off platform as good as anybody. He's always top 2 or top 3 in our rail shot and our long ball competitions, which this group of kids that I'm coaching, they love to compete at the end of every workout. So, he's a 52, 55 plus deep ball, just flicking the wrist, and that's very impressive. So watch out for him. I know he got an invite to the Ole Miss Elite Camp, and they don't invite just any kid. They invite really good, talented kids that they're interested in recruiting, and so that's big for him. Of course, I think if you're just talking district, teams to watch out for, I think Parkway's poised to make a run at the 5A district this year. They've got all their dudes back, and losing them last year was tough, but they got them back this year. KB's back there taking the snaps again, and so I think they're going to be a team to watch out for in that 5A district. I don't know much about what Benton's going to look like, but I know that under Stephen Dennis, they're going to try to establish the run and play hard-nosed defense, and so defense in that district is going to be a change of pace. To be honest with you, right? Hasn't been a lot of defense there. I know that Shreve still got some talent, and the running back is back this year, so watch out for them. Natchitoches Central, knowing what they have down there, and they look pretty good in their spring game. This may be a year where they're fighting right there in the middle of that district, and so I think that they're a playoff team this year with Owen going into his senior year. So just locally around here, there's a lot more teams I could talk about. Of course, Calvary. But they've lost a lot of senior leadership, and so their schedule's pretty tough too. But that doesn't mean that they won't be in the mix there toward the end of the year. And I'm sure I've left somebody off.
I know one person.
Some coach off.
I know one person you left off. One player you left off.
Who's that?
Come on, Pop Houston. Come on.
Of course, but he's kind of understood.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, him and Malachi. I mean, we spent so much time talking about them.
Yeah, you're right.
At the end of the day, though, like Evangel, they still have a tough schedule, and they still have to figure out if they're going to just be an offensive team or they're going to play both sides of the ball. I say that joking,
Of course.
because every team in their district scored points, and it didn't look like anybody played defense.
No.
But of course, you're getting Pop and Malachi in that district. And I think Malachi led the country in pass yards last year. And so anything he does this year, it's going to be very hard to surpass what he did last year.
Right.
But there's no doubt that he's going to be a kid that everybody's going to want to watch.
No one disliked those shootouts last year in 1-5A more than Daniel Brown when he would go cover those games that he's got to get a live shot on, and they're still playing at 10:30 because they've got 70 on either side. That was crazy. So I'm kind of getting the feeling from you that you don't think that will necessarily be the case in that league this year.
It's hard to tell because in 1-5A, I mean, I'm not watching film on those defenses. But I will say there's enough talent in that district that it could swing where you see those games a little tighter and more defense. But at the end of the day, that district's got trigger men. I mean, you got 3 guys returning that were legitimate 2,000, 2,500 yard passers last year. So they're going to score points, and there's going to be athletes with the ball in their hand in space. And it is always going to be tough on defenses in that district, but I do think the defenses are going to come around this year.
I got a guy in 1-5A that I think is going to be very good this year, and I think that no one will be surprised by this opinion, but I think Taylor Weathersby out at Houghton is gonna really show some growth going into his junior year. I watched him in the spring game. He looked way more comfortable than he did just a few months ago. He's grown a little bit, put on some weight, and Coach Sewell was very excited when we asked him about his quarterback. I don't know how much you've been able to see him, but I don't know. I think he's poised to have a breakout year.
Yeah, Weathersby used to train with us. He trained with us a lot last year. He's got a strong arm, and he can make a lot of throws. And if he gets time back there and can set up and deliver the ball down the field where he's not getting rushed out of the pocket, he could be poised for a big year statistically for sure. He's got the talent, he's got the arm talent, and now it just comes down to whether or not they can put it all together on offense. Last year they scored points. They were in ball games. It's just a matter of, all 3 phases. Can they finish the job? And so, Houghton is a team that intrigues me just because you're in that district and no one's really expected much out of them.
Yeah.
But they have some pieces and they can go make some plays and Weathersby can rip it around the yard. Look, if Weathersby goes down, I know C.T. Woodard is the one that's sitting right behind him, and he's 6'3.5", 6'4" probably. He's got a 65-yard arm. He could throw it a country mile. Now you got to give him an opportunity to develop a little bit too. So it'll be interesting to see how all that shakes out there at Houghton.
Yeah, for sure. I always love my Bucks, and I don't necessarily think this is the year they beat Parkway and get me out of the hats. But I think maybe we got to wait a little longer for that to happen. But look, bro, you never know. That's why they play the game. You mentioned Luke Delafield, and he was our guest last week here on the show, and as you would imagine, he was fantastic. But one thing he said, obviously we were joking around a lot, but one thing he got real serious on when we asked him was his role as a leader this year. And he was very matter of fact. He said, I'm going to be real tough on these guys this year. Anyone that's sitting on the fence, you're either getting on the right side of the fence or you're getting off. You're not riding the fence all year. What do you think, as from a coach's perspective, when you have a player on the roster that takes the initiative to say things like that and to push the guys? I'm sure you just got to love that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a coach, it's said that, bad teams, nobody leads, average team, coaches lead, but great teams, players lead. And when you have a team that's got a quarterback that is the vocal leader and he holds people accountable, but at the same time, he's accountable himself and he's, getting the work done and he's not missing workouts and he's on the field early and late, putting in the extra work like that just speaks volumes to, how he's being coached and the culture within the locker room. And everybody knows Coach Dunn's one of the best that's ever done it. And so seeing Luke be that and hearing him talk about being a vocal leader, that's really good. Like one of the things we want at Bossier, and most coaches really want in their program, is those starters to take the lead. And so, I'm on my skill guys all the time that when they get to the line of scrimmage, when they get their rep done, they're getting out of there, and then they're coaching up the guy behind them. And if their guy messes up, they're the ones that needs to be coaching them up. They need to coach first. That way, there's ownership in the position, and then the guys in that position line that are there that may have to take their spot on a Friday night because they have an injury or they're out sick or something. They know they've put in the work and they haven't overlooked the details. And so, as a coach, that's what you want. You want your guys to lead, and you want them to lead vocally, and you want them to set the standard. And at the same time, you want them to uphold the standard by their actions, their behaviors, and then how they treat their teammates. And so, hearing that, and then seeing the results of what's going on at North Dakota, it doesn't surprise me that that he's been pushed to be that vocal leader, because he's learning it from the top down. He's learning it from his coaches, and his coaches are instilling that in him, and him taking more of a vocal lead is only going to make him better.
Absolutely, man. And I can't believe we've gone this long. I haven't really asked you about Bossier. How the Bearcats looking, man?
Well, I mean, we're looking good. Just so everybody knows, Bossier's young. Like, we were very young last year. We dressed mostly freshmen, sophomores, and some juniors. We lost 7 seniors. And so the majority of the 4 of the 5 starting offensive linemen are back, and every starting skill position is back. And then on the defensive side, it's very similar to that. So very young team. We got some pieces, but we're in a position right now where we're really just trying to get better every day in the weight room. That's something that Gary is really pushing hard with these guys, that you win ball games and lose ball games, in the summer. And so trying to get the guys there for workouts, and at the same time, build confidence in the scheme, building a scheme around what they're really good at, and what they can execute consistently. Last year I took over as offensive coordinator, like before the Jamboree. It's hard to install an offense that fast. And so this year we've had, a full off season of spring, now getting into the summer. And so we're seeing some growth there offensively. And so now it's just a matter of putting it all together. Our schedule is tough, especially the district. But we've got some games that we feel like we can be very competitive in. And so, the expectation is for us to go out there and play 4 quarters and see what happens. And ultimately, if they're prepared and we as coaches are making sure that they have the resources they need to be successful, we'll have a shot. So, we were really close to making the playoffs last year, and the goal is this year to put on a better show in district, take care of those out of district games, and ultimately make a playoff run.
Well, look, man, I love it. Can't wait to see the Bearcats in action. Can't wait to get back in the studio. I guess we'll be up here come point after season. So looking forward to that too. We kind of did it again. I think we've talked for over 30 minutes. It's kind of our. We usually go long here when we're sitting here chatting, but it's always a blast to catch up with you, man. One last thing you mentioned, you went to LSUS, right?
Yes.
What about the Pilots, man? I know I don't want to jinx anything because we're recording this. This is going to air next week, so the World Series will be over. As we stand right now, 57-0, tying the all-time national record. They'll play again the night we're recording this tonight on Thursday. Man, how fun has it been to watch them?
First of all, I mean, I've never seen anything like it,
yeah.
And I'm excited for LSUS. When I came back from Southern Arkansas playing football, I was actually going to pitch at LSUS, and just got in the bullpen one day and felt something pop in the shoulder, and they made me a student coach after that. And so I got to coach under Rocky Musgraves and coached a little bit of third base. And so, I hold the Pilots baseball program in very high regard, and I've seen a lot of really talented people come through there. And so it is exciting to see how well they're doing, and now just, prayerfully they can finish the job.
Amen. As an LSUS grad myself, I say, let's go Pilots. Let's get it done. Coach Harper, we're going to let you go, man. We'll talk to you soon. We'll get you back on the Benchwarmers as well, because I want to have you in here with Daniel, because I don't think you and Daniel have ever been on air together, really. So I want to get that done too. So let's chat again as we get closer to the year, and of course we'll have you back on for Friday Football Fever, for Point After, and all that good stuff. Always appreciate the time, Coach.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate it.
Coach Harper, one of the best there is, and we didn't jinx LSUS. When it was 4-0, I was thinking back on that interview like, oh, what did I do? But We're good. It all worked out. So now is the portion of the show that I did not prepare you for, Taylor.
Okay.
It's the sock check. So Taylor's rocking some. What are those?
Yeah, these are just these are the regular white Nike socks. I didn't know we were doing this.
Yeah.
I fold them down, and if you want to hear the story behind why I fold them down, so I went through a really big phase in college. Like I said, I was a track runner, and I really liked Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes.
And Sonic the Hedgehog, he always folds his socks down, and I had some Sonic socks that when you would fold it down, it would say, "You're too slow" on the back heel.
Okay.
And so I had these Sonic socks that I would always, they were my lucky socks. They're in every track picture I have of me racing are these lucky Sonic socks that are folded down with the fray just like this on the outside with the logo, but on the branding it says "You're too slow" on the back. And so I ever since then, it's kind of just been my thing. Definitely didn't prepare. Could have worn some cooler socks. But,
yeah, I'm rocking the Goku Blacks, which I have worn before.
Yeah, those are cool.
I do love
those
them.
are fine.
I got husky hair all over me. We're not going to worry about that. And I did not know you were a Sonic guy.
Big Sonic
I would
guy.
have led the show with that. I mean, you might not be a bigger Sonic guy than me.
Yeah, probably not.
But I was also like alive when the Sega Genesis and stuff came out, and the Game Gear, and I had all the Sonic stuff. So yeah, great. So we can bond on plenty of things. A generational gap doesn't matter a bit.
Not here.
Yeah, we love it. I don't know what you did this past weekend. We usually do a segment, Ticked Off, T.O. I don't have anything. I think we're both feeling pretty good right now. So I'll take the T.O. instead of the Ticked Off and praise our friends at ESPN for the college baseball squeeze play channel. Have you watched that at all?
I have not seen this yet.
Okay, it's like the NFL Red Zone for the college baseball tournament.
Yeah.
It is unreal, dude.
Really?
I watched hours of college baseball this weekend. I could not get enough. Didn't love to see LSU losing. Well, they're playing as we're recording this.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, they just started against Little Rock, so fingers crossed they can get that done. But, dude, I'm telling you, Super Regionals are going to do it as well. So next weekend, it's on ESPN Plus. Squeeze play.
No, seriously, that sounds actually, because NFL Red Zone, I have been singing their praise. I love NFL Red Zone.
Literally the greatest thing
ever. Other than the fact that they brought ads into NFL Red Zone this year. Anyways, back to squeeze play. Yeah, that sounds super legit, especially if you're a baseball fan, and the Tigers need to pull it out against Little Rock.
Yeah, that was rough. That was a tough loss. But
everybody loses. Everybody, it happens.
Well, it's been a crazy college baseball tournament. Because the top two seeds in the nation are already gone.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, and it's not even the Supers yet. So, but yeah, squeeze play. And yes, the ads on Red Zone, the 7 hours of football starts now does not hit nearly as hard as 7 hours of commercial-free football.
Yeah.
And he's got the greatest job ever, right?
Yeah, he does.
Scott Hansen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the dream right there.
It is. I mean, he sits there, and I watch. He has a documentary about this, and he talks about how he doesn't use the bathroom, but he's so locked in, he doesn't even think about it. He doesn't drink anything over those hours.
That's wild.
But he sings the praise. He says, "All I have to do is sit in a chair and turn around and watch 4 or 5 games of football happening at once." All day long, and come in live a little bit every now and then.
If you don't feel something when you see the Octobox, then we're just not compatible as people. Like the Octobox, even it could be the 8 worst games the NFL has to offer, and I'm juiced up. Here we go. Look at all this football. Oh gosh, and we're like less than 100 days away.
I know. I'm so excited. My Commanders are finally watchable again, and it is.
Nice.
It has been a long ride. It has been a long ride. Never. I mean, the Washington Commanders. My dad's a big Commanders fan. He got me into football. I had to stick with this team. There were many years where I sat and thought to myself how easy it would be just to switch teams. I was young. Right. I was like, man, I could just be an Eagles fan maybe. I mean, they're right there. Yeah. We stuck it out, and now we have our guy from LSU, JD5, at the helm, and we're looking for hopefully a not sophomore slump season from him.
Well, can I give you more words of caution? I'm just going to equate everything to the Saints here. Okay. Drew Brees' first year, Reggie Bush gets drafted, right? Mm-hmm. They make the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And again, what I'm thinking exactly what you're thinking right now. Oh, this is it right here. They got their quarterback. What can stop us? It's real. Yeah. Sometimes teams overachieve, right? And I think Washington overachieved a bit.
Absolutely. No, you're right. Yeah, they did.
Sometimes you might see them take a couple steps back before that big thing. And so the Saints made the NFC Championship in 2006, and then they went 7-9, and then they won the Super Bowl. Yeah. So don't get too high or too low.
Absolutely.
Here.
I'm pushing for 10 games. Hopefully we can win 10 games this year. We signed Debo. We drafted real well for our defense. So hopefully that we can pull along. I know winning, I think it was even 13 we won last season. That was a lot. And I think a lot of that attributes to JD, a lot of teams not knowing how to really set up and play him. Now the second year is going to come in. They have a whole year's worth of tape to watch. Team defenses are going to be centered a lot more pointed. We need Debo to have a good year. It's his contract year, so he's playing for something. Scary Terry's always been reliable, so that team is, I'm really excited to watch them.
And just hope you don't have a big lead in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
28-30. Did you see the Falcons post?
I did see the two jerseys.
Yeah, they posted two jerseys.
I was like, they can't stop doing it to themselves.
But then they deleted it. I think it's
it's
think
worse
you don't
now.
delete it,
No,
because then
worse.
now Saints fans are like, ha ha, notice it. Like, they should just move on.
Yeah,
but
they have to. Yeah, they got to move on.
You know way more about the social media.
Yeah, that was insane. Whenever I saw it on Twitter real first, and I didn't even pick up on it until I saw someone on TikTok really say they keep doing it to themselves. And then I was like, what? And I scrolled over, and there's the 3-28. And I'm like, man, that is tough. I mean, it sucks to suck.
Yeah, it does, especially to be an Atlanta Falcon.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap things up, but I know that probably a lot of our viewers may not also be morning viewers. So why don't you quickly tell us a little bit about what you do and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I have two morning news segments right now, one on Monday mornings and one on Fridays. Both are centered kind of more in a light, fun, more community-based stories. So I do the What's Happening on Friday. So whatever the best thing to do over the weekend is, whatever the most fun, community-driven thing is, I try to get out and promote that so families can go and have fun on the weekends. And then vice versa on Mondays, I'm starting to do more seasonal things. So over the summertime, just today I had my first one, and we did summer camps for kids at Cyport.
Right.
So it'll be more along things like what can people do for volunteer work, or what can people do to keep their kids engaged, or if there's any special events, like I know Flotilla's coming up, I'm sure I'll do something with that. So anything that has to do with the community, I'm there. And obviously, like if anybody has any events or food trucks, it's a big thing.
Right.
If you're a food truck and you want to be on Food Truck Friday, my email is just tgibson@ktbs.com. If you guys want to follow me, it's the Taylor Gibson on Instagram. So,
and if you love or hate anything on our social media,
yeah, that's all me.
That's your guy right
this
there.
is me.
Just has to correct all of our, all of our not social media people's posts and everything like that. So, look, dude, it's been fun, man.
Yeah, I've enjoyed being here. I've enjoyed the minutes.
Yeah.
Hopefully my curveball can come in there and we can see this again sometime.
I'm sure we will. Look, at one point, one of us has to leave.
Absolutely.
On vacation. So you're in, man. We got you. You are now a part of the Benchwarmers team. So enjoy riding the bench with us here.
Yeah, I'm happy.
We appreciate you tuning in this week. Next week, we will have LSUS head coach Brad Neffendorf, of course, and we might even have Daniel back if he decides to return.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, guys.